Back with another Wagner Nose episode 7, and you see what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff happens during the week. I never know if there's going to be enough content to talk about, but I think by the end of the week I'm like, okay, I can work with this. There's a lot of stuff that's happening that I'm really interested in. Of course, like I talked about earlier the past few weeks, we're going to talk about what's happening in gaming first. I always want to get that into detail first because it's the things that are always at the top of my mind, at least. Then we'll go into more entertainment topics. I have my Spider-Man review. I finally saw Spider-Man, so if you are interested, I'm going to give my take on what happened with Spider-Man Brand New Day. I know a lot of people have their own takes on it. It seems like it's getting a lot of love, and I think that is the case with a lot of the new Marvel movies that have been coming out. A lot of people are loving the new Marvel stuff. At least Spider-Man, that is, and I think that's what I'm seeing at the theater, because people are just applauding. People are loving Spider-Man Brand New Day, and I'll give you my thoughts on Spider-Man Brand New Day because I have my own opinion on it, and I'll share it with you. But I think for the most part, a lot of people's love, I think, is justified, and a lot of people that have their criticisms, I think, is justified as well, because we're looking at Marvel. Marvel's been messing up for a long time right now, so if they get one win, that is great, but how long will that winning streak last? And of course, that kind of hooks up to what we're seeing right now with the X-Men casting, because everyone's celebrating that casting. And I have my own opinions. The people they're choosing, they look great, but I'm wondering about the politics behind some of these people. Will it kind of get sticky near the end? Of course, we're going to talk about GTA Netflix. That's the first thing I want to talk about. That's a controversial thing people are kind of upset about. And I have my own arguments against it as well. It's just like, wow, everything is becoming pay to play for right now in the gaming industry. Even trailers, you have to pay to see trailers right now, which is kind of the absurd thing. Hopefully it's not a trend. And of course, I'm going to go over just any topics that you want to talk about as the fans out there of this content, all these entertainment property franchises, just like I am. That's why I'm still here. Even if most of the content coming out of Marvel, DC, and the gaming industry becomes trash, I'm still a fan of it. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm talking about it. That's why I hopefully want to share my skepticism about some of these properties coming out, because I'm always skeptical. I'm always suspicious of what we're going to get out there. Of course, we're going to go into some lies in the gaming industry. You know what's been happening. People have been trying to tear down the gaming industry. That's kind of the modus operandi of my channel. I might expand from that, but for so far, that's the thing where I noticed the most kind of meddling. And I think that's what we saw happening with a few properties and a few kind of lies being exposed online these past few weeks when it comes to some games that have been exposed out there, where a lot of gamers are looking at some of the gaming journalists and they're thinking, hey, what are you doing? You kind of just ruined our favorite game. And I think that is the thing I want to get into. But first, let's talk about what's happening with Netflix and, of course, GTA 6. And GTA 6 is the much hyped game that we've all been talking about for the past 10 years, which is kind of crazy, even more than 10 years. I would say probably 12 years we've been talking about it. We thought it will come like in 5-7 years, but no, it's been one of the longest developed games these past few years. I think probably almost reaching 15 years in development. I think that's the thing. A lot of people are kind of upset with this current gaming cycle, where a lot of games take too much time for them to come out, and I think that's what people are seeing with GTA 6. And especially once we got the announcement that a lot of the content is going to be really available in these recent trailers that have been announced, we were kind of excited about it. I was excited about it. I was like, okay, finally we get to see some GTA stuff. And I was pleased with a lot of the pictures they put out there, and they did the same strategy they usually used with the initial releases of GTA games, where they usually have like a magazine spread with all these interesting pictures. And I think that's what I liked about this initial release for GTA. It kind of harkened back to when I was hyped about GTA Vice City, and I got a Game Informer magazine. I think it was Game Informer, and I looked at all the pictures they had set up, and it got me so hyped for it. And I think that's why I love about this release cycle right here, where it brought me back to my days when I had a subscription to Game Informer, where I was like, okay, I'm finally being informed with what's happening in the gaming industry. And I think that's the thing I loved about the hype around this game, where it was like, okay, they're doing the old hype cycle that I'm used to, where we're just getting into the gaming world, and we're hearing about the details. And of course, when we started hearing about the details of GTA 6, that's when a lot of people were kind of shaking their head going, what? We're going to have to pay $100 for GTA 6, at least a complete game? That is kind of messed up. And that is the kind of start of all the skepticism about what GTA 6 will be for the gaming audience, where a lot of people are thinking, okay, we can get it for $80, but what is $80 if you can't really go into the shops that you want to go into? And I think that's the thing that we heard and now understand about GTA, where you can't really play a complete game unless you buy the full $100 version, where you can't go into certain shops, you can't go into you can't purchase special clothes or anything like that. Not even special clothes, just the interesting clothes. And I think that's the thing that ticked a lot of people off about some of the requirements that we see around GTA 6. What's up, Aegis of Chaos? Went from being informed to being lectured from the gaming journals, and that's exactly what happened to the gaming journalism, to a lot of and that's kind of the funny thing, because I used to be hyped. I used to be subscribed to a lot of these Game Informer, these other magazines in the past. So it's kind of wild to see what happened to them, where now we're being lectured. Before, they were just hype machines. Everyone was just hyped. There was some criticisms in those magazines, but nothing. It was just a hype machine for gaming. And I think that is the crazy thing that we now see, where Game Informer is just kind of a propagandist tool for some random political faction that doesn't even care about gaming. But it's just crazy how the gaming landscape completely shift, because that's what I remember about Game Informer, where I'm getting the magazine to look at GTA 6 picks and some other games that are going to be talked about, and it's about the previews and just maybe some gaming codes and strategies and stuff like that. So that's my memory of gaming magazines. So now gaming magazines are the opposite of that. They're there to lecture you. They're there to set the tone of the culture. And I think that's the thing I absolutely hate. But back to GTA 6. GTA 6 is I like that initial release of pictures, because it brought me back to that time. And I think now we're going back to the future, and the future is very cold and harsh and not very kind to people that like nostalgia. And I think that's what we're seeing right now with GTA 6, where yes, it looks like it has all the nostalgia, but it's bringing us back to the future, where hey, you're gonna have to pay for all this nostalgia. And I think that's what we're seeing happening here when it comes to the Netflix acquisition of a trailer. And that sounds absurd. Netflix has the trailer for GTA 6, and you gotta go onto Netflix to watch a trailer for GTA 6. I know for a lot of people already have Netflix. I have Netflix, so I'm not gonna be paying more for it. So it's a moot point, but I think a lot of people don't have Netflix, so you're gonna have to pay to see a trailer. That is just kind of the absurdity of modern day gaming, where you have to pay for things that essentially were free. And even when it's kind of going back to how I felt about Grand Theft Auto and some of the magazines and their advertisements and previews, where that getting previews and getting access to this stuff, it used to be somewhat playful, but now it's a lecture. And I know people are going to say, hey, you had to get a subscription to see those previews, you had to pay for a magazine to see some of those pictures and previews. Hey, it shouldn't be any different with what we're seeing with the trailer itself. And I think that comparison is fair. It's fair enough, but I think we're seeing it happening at such a level where it's being the game is being split apart into pieces, where we already saw that happen with the $100 price tag, where you can't play a complete game without spending that extra $20 or so. And I think this is kind of the extension of that. It's like, hey, you want access to even see the trailer? You better be subscribed to this. You better have access to this. You better have all these ancillary parts have to be connected, and you have to be paying to actually get the full experience. And I think that's the situation we're seeing right now with this Grand Theft Auto extended look. And people are going to say, hey, you already got the trailer. This is an extended look for those dedicated fans. And there's always an excuse. And I guess you can just lend that to great marketing, great advertisement, and a great understanding of what you can get away with. Because I think, unfortunately for us, Rockstar is going to get away with this because it's not as egregious as I said. They can harken back to all these other concepts like, hey, you paid for a subscription of Game Informer. You paid for this back in the day. You did all this. This is just a continuation of that gaming legacy. And I'm like, okay, Yeah, but I got a complete game when I bought the games that were advertised on the Game Informer and everything else. Here, we're not getting complete games anymore. Sometimes we're getting broken and unfinished games, and I think that's the thing a lot of people are speculating. Of course, Rockstar never really delivers a completely broken game, so they're not Bethesda. But I think that's the sentiment a lot of people are having right now, and I think it's a fair sentiment to have with the situation in the gaming industry, because it's hard to trust anything in gaming right now because a lot of stuff are kind of messed up. So how am I supposed to expect to get anything of value out of a system that is kind of predicated on being a predator of the gamers and anything that they're interested in? I mean, I think that's the thing a lot of people are feeling right now about this GTA Netflix sort of arrangement, because it's kind of the extension of what they've already been doing with kind of monetizing just playing parts of the game. And I think that's what we saw with Final Fantasy, and the remake itself is split into 3 parts. I'm like, I have to buy a $70 game 3 times, and a lot of people said no to that. Of course, that's not going to happen to GTA 6. No one's going to say no to the $100 price tag. Everyone is going to be buying the deluxe edition with the extra stores. At least I am. I know I'm going to do it. I might wait a while, but I can't really wait. I have to play on my PlayStation, which is annoying to me. I hate playing on my PlayStation. The last game I played on PlayStation was Stellar Blade. After that, I was like, never again. I'm not playing on PlayStation again. I'm a PC person. I used to be a diehard PlayStation fan. So that is my situation, where things just evolve, where I'm like, I'm not really into the console experience because the console experience is terrible right now. I think especially if you're a PlayStation fan. I think if you're an Xbox fan, you still might be getting some stuff because you have these outside influences in China, Japan, Korea that are releasing hot stuff. So let's look at that chat before I continue on. Remember how we watched trailers for free? Now they expect us to pay for Netflix. I also remember the day we owned games. Yeah, that's the real thing. The day we owned games, those were truly the days, and we kind of don't have those days anymore. I think a lot of people are talking about it, like, what is happening? Did we just get? Oh, we got a donation. Nice, Benjamin Altman, $2. Hey, Wagner, look up why is Hollywood is like that. Okay, I'll look that up. We'll look that up. Let me turn on the alerts because I should have got an alert for that. So I was like, hey, where's the alert for that? Let me turn on the alerts real quick first. I want people to actually see their donations up there. But thank you, Benjamin Altman. Thank you for the donation. Yeah, PC is an owner's market. You're absolutely right. Human user 1. And I think that's the thing. That's why I kind of gravitated to the PC. The PC is kind of where it's at. It's where the gamers get the best value right now. And I think for me, this is where I actually feel like I have the most control and ownership of the market right now. So I think, especially when I built my own PC, I was like, okay, this is really feels like, okay, this is a new console system. Of course, luckily I built my PC before all the prices went all skyrocketing. I barely got my SD card before the prices quadrupled or quintupled. So that was a lucky break for me. But yeah, I feel like when you grow older, you got to switch to the PC. The PC just is more of an ownership experience nowadays, and especially with the quality of exclusives. I think the exclusives for PlayStation are abysmal, and I think that's the thing a lot of people are realizing with a lot of the properties that are coming out. So for PlayStation to get GTA first, I think that is a coup. That's probably the best decision that happened. Is it going to be out on Xbox at the same time? I think it's just if it's just on PS5, wow, that's the best deal that has ever been made. Yeah, I think only Nintendo is barely scraping by because it just has all that original IP, and they haven't destroyed those IP. Even the new Star Fox game, I played it. I was like, okay, it's still Star Fox. The new Metroid game is kind of trash, but still, Nintendo's the last of the dying breed that's still limping along. trying to sue everyone out of the gaming industry. So they have their own quirks, Nintendo. But yeah, it's just I can't argue against them with this, because like I said, I remember the days where I was purchasing Game Informer magazines for previews. So it's just like, it was a little cheaper though. It was cheaper than Netflix prices, I have to say. Game Informer back in those days, it was like $2.99 or something, so less than $2.99. So yeah, and Steam Machine might make it. I think you're right, Benjamin Ultimate. The Steam Machine might be the system that, I know people are complaining about the prices, and Steam Machine came out in a bad time. It came out during the surge of prices for hardware parts due to AI. Everyone kind of manipulating the stock market and gaming the system, trying to prop up these AI markets. So it had the bad timing of coming out during this time where a lot of hardware prices are kind of cycled to their peaks, and that's not going to be long lasting. I know people think the Steam Machine is going to be dead, but I think after a couple years, those prices are going to go down. We're going to get cheaper hardware prices. Definitely China's going to come in and lower the prices with their own hardware. A lot of companies like Steam Machine are probably going to grab up some software that some of that hardware from China, some of that DDR5 RAM, SD cards, all the things that they need to make a cheaper system. And I think China's going to suck up that market. I think that's what we're going to see with a lot of the things happening with the Steam Machine. I know people are really doubting the Steam Machine, and they should doubt the Steam Machine right now because the prices are out of this world. Let me see, Steam Machine. The prices for it are absurd, I have to say. Where was that last time I saw the prices for this? But the Steam Machine, yeah, the pricing is going to be, it's going to keep it out of the high ranks. But I think after a while, after all that market shifts over, it changes, people are allowed to actually purchase some different hardware material from China specifically. I think in a few years, the Steam Machine is going to be a top level product. It's going to be a lot cheaper than a lot of these systems out here. And these systems are going to be restricted, I think, by maybe some U.S. government laws or something like that. I think the Steam Machine is going to be able to get out of that because it's not connected to certain funding channels, and it's a private company. So I think that's the thing. If I could invest in Steam Machine, I might invest in it in the future. Of course, Steam is a private company, so we're not going to see too much out of that. I always like to see this thing. This is the commercial that almost sold me on it. I'm like, okay, that's a cheap, easy way of just accessing everything there. And I like having the cover panel like that. That is just, it's a cool system. So I think it has a future. It's just not now. Steam just had the unfortunate consequence of coming out during the wrong time, and I think that's the thing that we're seeing with the Steam Machine right now, is just the unbelievable bad timing of Gabe Newell. I think usually we're used to seeing Gabe win. Right now, he kind of lost right now. Yeah, it's the RAM, the AI market is just out of this world crazy. I'm lucky I had to buy a new SD card. I got a 4 terabyte one to replace like a 1 terabyte one. And that one was pretty cheap. I think it was like $200 something, and now it's like $1,000 something. So I'm like, whoa, these prices are out of this world. I'm going to talk about EA. I talked about it in a previous video, but I got to go over it again because I have my problems and concerns with EA. EA is not going to be in the best position that a lot of people think EA is going to be in. Because for me, I think EA was purchased by kind of a precarious owner, an owner that is not reliable right now. I think a lot of people are expecting Saudi Arabia. We could just get into EA right now because I was going to save this for later. I had a video on it, but I had to take it offline for different reasons. But I think EA is going to be one of those situations we're going to look back on and go, whoa, they kind of messed up this situation. This should have been a good thing. This should have been an easy thing. But it wasn't easy. And I think that's the thing a lot of people are going to feel about EA in the future, where EA Games is going to kind of just disappear and not really be around anymore. And I think people truly don't understand that there's a real danger of that happening in the current situation in the gaming market today, and just the global market, because the global market is in kind of a precarious situation, and it kind of stems from what we've been seeing all across the global market right now, because the global market has kind of been shut in a way where it's kind of been placed in kind of in, I would say, in a dangerous area where we don't know the future. And I think that's what we're seeing directly with Saudi Arabia, because Saudi Arabia is in trouble. It's not really a safe place right now in Saudi Arabia. I know people should not staying up with the news. I stay up with the news mostly because I have some stocks, some stuff in there, investments and stuff like that. So I have to be aware of some of this stuff. But Saudi Arabia is not really a safe place for any company right now. If you don't know, everyone knows what's happening with the Iran war, what's going on with the Strait of Hormuz and stuff like that. I'm not going to get into the full politics of it, but if you look closely at Saudi Arabia is a tough position where it kind of has to balance the multiple powers that are kind of trying to use it against its own interests right now, and it can't really do anything. And of course, the powerful organizations and governments I'm talking about, it's the U.S. government, European governments, and of course I'm talking about the Iran government. So it has to balance itself between these two powers, and it kind of looks like it's going to lead itself into a dead end where it can't really survive whatever outcome is going to be laid in front of it. And I think that's the thing I see with this EA purchase. I know people are going to think, what are you talking about? This is just them buying a video game company. But if you look at Saudi Arabia is not really a solid country. So I know people hear about all the wealth and money and stuff like that, and that is true. That is there. That's why they're purchasing stuff. But that money comes with strings, and people are going to say, hey, they have oil money. Yeah, that oil money, comes with strings. It comes with the full support of the American government, with full support of the financial institutions of America. All that money, it's not really in Saudi Arabia, it's in America, it's in New York, it's in all these other places, and they get transferred to Saudi Arabia, which means the people that have control over Saudi Arabia, that have control over their money, can say, hey, you better do this and that, or you're not going to be in the position of power you're in right now. And I think that's what we're seeing with Saudi Arabia, where it's doing all this crazy stuff. It's attacking its neighbors, Iraq, Yemen. It's doing all this stuff. It of course, is going against Iran for obvious reasons. And I think it's in a position where, hey, the future is not as solid as you think, and once that backing that you have from America is gone, you're gonna be by yourself. And the populists that are in Saudi Arabia don't really like the leadership in Saudi Arabia, so it's just like, okay, you're in a position where Saudi Arabia may not exist in 5 years. So that is the situation I'm seeing with Saudi Arabia, where I'm like, okay, yeah, EA just might just disappear. It might not even be sold. It might not just have the time to deal with EA. It might be sold for parts. I think just it's not in the safe hands. I would say it was. If it was bought by China, then I would say, okay, it's in safe hands. They might sell it for parts, but they're gonna do something with EA. Right now, I think EA might just disappear into a black hole. Nothing will happen with it. They might just fire a bunch of people, and they just might lose interest with it because their country is being bombed, or the oil gas fields are being bombed. They don't have oil money anymore. They don't have oil infrastructure. So I'm like, man, Saudi Arabia is just, it might be over for EA. Hopefully they sell BioWare before it is over. That's my main that's my main thing I'm hoping for. Hey, sell EA, sell BioWare to maybe Japan, China, sell it to Korea. That's the best choice. If they sold it to Korea, I think we'll get Mass Effect back. We'll get the Mass Effect that we love. We'll get the Dragon Age that we love back. So that's my biggest hope there. But Korea has its own problems. Korea has the AI bubble, so the AI bubble might pop. So Korea might not be in the position to buy anything, but that still puts China in the position to buy something. So I think we'll be safe as gamers. So BioWare, sell it to China, sell it to someone else. Japan is not going to be in position if all the bad stuff happens to the Saudi Arabia. So really only China is going to be in the position to buy some things. So I think that is the thing. Mass assets. Mass Effect mass assets. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. There's too much stuff happening right now in the economy where I can't even trust Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is not even a real country to trust. It's kind of just like a satellite country. I think it's not really a country I would depend on for managing a gaming company. It's like I heard Saudi Arabia was like building a giant line city in the sand. Of course, that never materialized, and they're known for doing projects like that, stuff that don't mean anything, that lead to nowhere. And it's just like, you can't trust these people in Saudi Arabia 100%. So that's just my my experience with it. So I'll just leave it at that. They don't have the best business acumen, and I think that's the thing. A lot of gamers are getting their hope up for this. I'm like, wait a minute, give it 5 years. They just might not even be in Saudi Arabia anymore, this EA. Yeah, give Dragon Age to Tencent. I think you're right, Humor User One. And I think that's the best outcome for most games right now. Go to China. China will still be there. No matter what happens in the future, I think, in the gaming industry, any catastrophe, USA and China will still be there. Of course, USA is going to be there. We just have to change what we're doing politically or whatever. Just whatever is happening in the gaming industry needs to change. Then America is ready to make some great games. Hey, man. Hopefully they do have a plan, Benjamin Altman. Hopefully they do have a plan, but we're not dealing with people that have good plans, I think, so far. I'm like, I don't know. These guys, their plans kind of mess up a little bit. You're definitely going to have propaganda if they're going to put it out there. But I don't even care about the propaganda. I'm like, well, what can they do? They're not going to convert anyone to Islam. I don't think so. I don't think that's the case, but they might try it. We saw in the SNK game that Cristiano Ronaldo. So I'm like, okay. If they put Ronaldo in Mass Effect, then I might be like, okay, that's a little too much Cristiano Ronaldo propaganda. He's not better than Messi. I know people want to say it. It's simply just not true. So let it go. Let it go. Like I said here, this is another thing, just showing the situation with the Middle East right now, the oil flow. Saudi Arabia depends on all of that. It's just like, and it's being attacked by its neighbors. It doesn't have a military that's really good or effective or loyal. It could be overthrown by multiple people within their own country. They have to have protection from Turkey and Pakistan. Pakistan has soldiers in Saudi Arabia to defend itself from its own people. So it's just like, and American bases are kind of pushed out right now due to the war. So it's just like Saudi Arabia is in a bad position. So I'm like, I don't want to put money in Saudi Arabia. If you have investments in Saudi Arabia, well, I'm not going to give you investment advice. Don't ask for investment advice from me. Leave me alone with that. I'm not going to get in trouble. But just stay away from Saudi Arabia for now. But let's go on to the next subject. I've been talking too long about this. Got a long list of stuff to talk about. What else? Well, we got Netflix. Like I mentioned, it's happened before. Like I said, Game Informer, subscription services. They could get away with this. This is not anything anyone is going to complain about. And like I mentioned before, they already made money. I think they made over $1.4 billion based on the pre-orders for Grand Theft Auto. So that is absurd amount of money. Who knows, once it releases, it's probably gonna make another $1 billion right there. So this game is already in the profit after 15 years of development. So they don't care about us. They already made their money, and they're just kind of shining right now. They're just like, man, we're just relaxing. We're making the money, and it doesn't matter what you think as a gamer. And that's what we're hearing from Take-Two CEO. He's saying, hey, get ready not to own your games, because even us, we're not gonna have a disc for you. And I think that's another complaint a lot of people are having with the current state of gaming, where we can't even own our own games anymore. And I think that is just the cherry on top right now with a lot of the things that we're seeing. And we're seeing this with the constant protests around Sony itself. Sony has been at the forefront of the no disc controversy, and they flatly said, hey, we're not going to change our mind. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to make a profit for. And they didn't look shy at all about it. They had a press conference coming out just stating plainly that is the case. We're not changing up our ways. We're not going to make any more discs. It's not going to make us any money. And sorry, gamers, we don't care what you think. And I think I really can't fault them for it, because the economics behind it makes sense for them. Plus, I think we kept buying games online. I can't stop buying games online. I don't have a disc drive anymore. I'm a PC gamer right now, so it's just like it's hard it's hard for me to complain about it, but I understand the complaints other people are having about it, because I think the disc experience should still be something solid. I think gamers should still have access to disc. I think it's still going to be a profitable environment. I think I disagree with them on that point. I think people still want that full package experience, and I think if you're going to have $100 game, make it come with a disc and booklet and packet and everything that we used to get with games. Give that full disc experience to the gamers that are willing to pay extra, because I think you'll find a strict amount of gamers that will be willing to do that, to pay extra for that experience of just getting the full package of, hey, we're getting a game, we're going to have the booklet, we're going to have a small poster, we're going to have a disc, we're going to have the artwork specified to it, and we're going to have that all-inclusive gaming experience. And I think if GTA 6 had that as a $100 package, I would actually pay for that. I'm like, okay, give me the full disc experience. Give me everything. I can take the digital code. I might not even have a disc drive for my PC, but let me buy the disc experience. And I think that's what we're going to see with the future of gaming. It's going to be kind of like records right now for a lot of big time artists. They come out with full records that you can spin and play. And I think that is the future of this. It's not going to be something widely purchased, obviously. Most people are going to buy online and digital, but I think ultimately you want to keep that disc experience alive, because it will ultimately be profitable in the end. And I think them discontinuing it in its entirety, I think that's just short-sighted. But Sony is known to be short-sighted sometimes, and I think that's what we're seeing with Sony right now. All right, let me look at the chat before we go on to the next topic. Yeah, I think you might be right, Benjamin Altman. GTA 6. We haven't seen any signs of GTA 6 being the full-blown woke experience so far. So far, it looks like it's just going to be a regular GTA game, less funny. I think that's the main thing. I think it's just going to be more realism, less funny, less jokes that we saw before. Maybe those jokes will be ill-timed, or not ill-timed. Maybe they're outdated. I heard someone say that. And I would have to say GTA 5, a lot of the jokes are kind of outdated and lame nowadays. Not because they were provocative, it's just like, okay, it's just not really, the time has passed for some of these jokes, because they're just old jokes about things that are old, and old is not really cool anymore, so for some people. So I think that's what we're going to see with GTA. It's just going to stay away from a lot of the jokes they did before. I think the DEI already killed Xbox and PlayStation. David Gannon, thank you for showing up. Hey, bad games already ruined a lot of these console systems. Why is Hollywood like that? Is that on YouTube? Should I look that up on YouTube, Benjamin Altman? I'll look that up on YouTube. Let's look that up right now before I forget, because I quickly forgot about that. Let's look that up on YouTube. Sorry about that, Benjamin Altman. I just get into talking and just forget about things. What? Why is Hollywood like that? Okay, we'll check it out. Basic logic. All right, we'll check this out. It's pretty short, so I think it's reasonable to look that up. Just tell me if this is the video, Benjamin Altman. All right, I think this is it. Okay, let's look it up. It's pretty short, so for our next topic, and it looks interesting. Let's see it.
Helen of Detroit, Snape the Half-Blood Brother, Cleopatra of Wakanda, among many more examples.
There's too much classic jokes came from this Odyssey, I have to say. Wait, did I have everything there? I think I do have everything here. Let me okay. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's start from the beginning.
Helen of Detroit, Snape the Half-Blood Brother, Cleopatra of Wakanda, among many more examples. When asked why Hollywood and Western media as a whole keeps race-swapping even historical figures, the answer is always representation. Which is weird, because when they made a documentary called Adolescence about this individual who stabbed a girl to death in the UK, it was a clear opportunity to hire a...
And I remember this happening too. This was just, I made a video about it. It's just like, when you see that sort of obfuscation of the truth, it's just like, whoa, okay, this is beyond intentional when you see this, especially with the Adolescence video, the Adolescence movie itself, or a TV show, where it was just so obvious, where like, okay, we want to frame this in a way where it puts the people that we dislike in a category where they're in an unfavorable position. And I think that's why when you see Adolescence, it's kind of the clearest example of that. Especially, it's been heralded everywhere like the best piece of art ever made. I'm like, I know why you're doing this. You want to send a message specifically. But let's carry on. Let me stop interrupting the video.
Adolescence about this individual who stabbed a girl to death in the UK, it was a clear opportunity to hire a black actor. They instead race-swapped him for a white kid and made the entire show about the dangers of online extremism. And it's not just
Alright, I made it louder.
Recently, the police have started doing the same thing on crime statistics. Look at these white criminals. The pattern is clear. When it's a...
Alright, let's go back. I had it pretty silent the beginning. Let's go
Helen
back.
of Detroit, Snape the Half-Blood Brother, Cleopatra of Wakanda, among many more examples. When asked why Hollywood and Western media as a whole keeps race-swapping even historical figures, the answer is always representation. Which is weird, because when they made a documentary called Adolescence about this individual who stabbed a girl to death in the UK, it was a clear opportunity to hire a black actor. They instead race-swapped him for a white kid and made the entire show about the dangers of online extremism. And it's not just entertainment. Recently, the police have started doing the same thing on crime statistics. Look at these white criminals. The pattern is clear. When it's an influential white historical figure or beloved white character, they get blackwashed. But when it's a detestable individual, they get whitewashed. So what's the real motivation? As with most things, it's not just one group with one agenda, but rather many aligned interests from many different groups. The first of which is called Afrocentrism, often seen on what people call Black Twitter and activist media. Here's one example. A YouTuber called African Core with nearly 500,000 subscribers.
I actually saw some of his videos.
Such obvious delusions. The answer is kind of sad. All peoples want to have...
I think for me, I've seen this happening so much when I was younger. People were kind of just making up stories that were obviously fake about the experience for a lot of African people. I'm like, okay, is this true? It can't be that all of history is a lie, right? I'm like, maybe you're lying. I think this is the experience for a lot of young black people when it comes to growing up with a lot of people that are get into conspiracies. They kind of lose it in this part, especially the people that say the black Israelite people. They kind of think everything in history was black, and I think that's where it stems from. A lot of people that talk like this, where they're talking about Leonardo da Vinci, Caesar was black. I'm like, okay, you're out of your mind if you're thinking this way, and you're kind of rewriting history to shape your own ego. And I think that's what we see with a lot of people. They're trying to uplift their own ego with putting themselves in their representation on parts of history that simply do not include them. But let's carry on.
Some grand history they can appeal to and take pride in their ancestors.
There we go.
Unfortunately, sub-Saharan Africa had very few civilizational achievements, especially compared to Europe, Asia, or the pre-Columbian Americas. Even commonly cited examples like the Mali Empire and Great Zimbabwe never developed indigenous writing systems or widespread use of the wheel. They remained at a perpetual technological and developmental disadvantage. Even Timbuktu, celebrated as Mali's greatest city, only rose to prominence after inviting scholars and architects from the broader Muslim world. Mansa Musa's portrayal as the richest man in history is only corroborated by a
I think I've heard about Mansa Musa so much where I'm like, okay, what did he actually do? When you hear the background, it's like, okay, he was just a slave owner. It's like, okay, come on, this is not like the greatest hero experience in the world.
Work of historical fantasy, the same source that describes nearby people using sorcery to hunt animals. Without equivalents to Rome, ancient China, or the Inca, some fill that gap by claiming other civilizations' history as their own. It's not the first time. Nation of Islam, an American cult that stole Islam's aesthetic, built an entire theology around a fictional, Afrocentric worldview. But what about Hollywood themselves? Race swapping is unpopular. Movies are expensive. Their returns have been abysmal. So who's paying for this slop? Hollywood's incentives are no longer aligned with their audiences. Instead, their funding comes from international finance, organizations like BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. And these organizations want to push ESG scores, that is, environmental social governance. The social meaning DEI and wokeness. None of this is a conspiracy. They operate in the open. They clearly state that funding is given and withheld on the basis of ESG. This is why flops like certain Disney remakes or the Cleopatra documentary still get greenlit. In other words, movies are not Hollywood's product, and audiences are not their customers. Instead, international finance is Hollywood's real customer, and pushing the financier's ideology on the audience is their real product. Now you might be thinking, these movies convinced no one. Hollywood is just making a fool of themselves. But you're wrong. It's true for you and me. We know it's nonsense. We're interested in history. But what about people who aren't? What about children? Kids absorb visuals. A generation raised on Black Caesar and Wakanda Cleopatra will simply accept it as fact.
Was there really a Black Caesar movie or something like that? I gotta see that. I gotta see the Black Caesar movie.
In the future, the only history and heritage white people will be allowed to have is their part in the slave trade and 20th century.
I don't know. I would like to see it. If there was a Black Hitler movie, I don't know. That would be kind of interesting, you gotta say. If we actually saw one, a Black Hitler, that would be funny and interesting to see how people react to that. I think that's the domain of AI. That's something I want to see. People kind of make these crazy versions of the race swap fantasies. I would want to see that version. I think that's the exciting thing about AI. If we get to see this kind of hyper crazy versions of the race swaps, I want to see Ryan Gosling as Martin Luther King. I haven't seen a AI video like that yet. I'm like, maybe do I have to make that AI video Martin Luther King is Ryan Gosling, something like that? I've been waiting to see this. I haven't seen it yet. I might have to start learning to use some AI, C Dance 2.5 or something. I might have to do that myself, where I can see Ryan Gosling as Martin Luther King. That would be crazy. I'd like to see what Black actor can play. Maybe I shouldn't say this on YouTube. What Black actor can play the Austrian painter from Germany? I think we have to talk about that. But that is funny to me. I want to see these absurd versions of some race swaps. Who will play Malcolm X? Who would play what other historical figure? Frederick Douglass. Swap him out with a white actor. I want to see those type of crazy race swaps. Let's just have fun. If we opened ourselves up and had fun with this race swaps, people would just laugh at it. Like, okay. But since it's such a dogma, it's become something that is kind of poisonous now. It's just like, okay, you're doing all these race swaps. You hate people that do something the opposite of what you want, a different white something race swap or something other race swap. Then that just becomes toxic. If you let everyone race swap everything, people might have more fun with what you're doing. And if you don't take yourself seriously about it, you go, yeah, this is not really the person. We just wanted to do something creative. And you didn't really hate the fans for pointing that out. I think people would be a lot easier on a lot of these films. But let's finish this. I'm talking too much.
But why has international finance adopted an explicit agenda to dilute white history and public perception? There are many theories. Some cite ethnic agendas among players. My theory is demoralization. To push white guilt on people and justify things like mass immigration so that they can replace expensive white workers with cheap third world labor, and have anyone who pushes back against that as an evil racist. And that's just one way this serves powerful interests. What other methods can you think of?
Yeah, this is a pretty good video. It kind of states the what we've been seeing in the video gaming world. There's obviously a campaign to change and kind of change the minds of the masses of people towards certain subjects, and they want to demonize certain groups of people. And it's pretty obvious when you see the race swaps that are being done. We're having like a British king that is a gay disabled person now. We're having all these crazy race swaps that are just like, okay, this is there to attack a specific group of people. It's made obvious to anyone that has a brain or thinks. And I think that's what I kind of noticed myself, and that's one of the reasons I kind of started up the channel. I'm like, okay, isn't this obvious people are kind of being racist now to the different groups of people that are specifically oriented in a different way, not oriented specifically the majority in America, and I'm talking about white people in general. So I think that's the thing that we see obvious right now with the current political environment. You have to be dumb not to notice it, but I think a lot of people are kind of dumb, so they may not notice it. So that's this kind of setup right now. But someone said Denzel Washington. He will never take the role, but he would be good as the Austrian painter. I think we have to go to Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors right now, he's broke. He needs to find some sort of work or anything right now. So I think he would take the role. He would take the role as the Austrian painter, and he would do a good job about it. I think Jonathan Majors would be a good character in 1938 Germany, going against Russia and the America. America didn't enter them, but going against England, I would have to say, and Poland. Yeah, I think you're right, Agents of Chaos. That's why I think if they allowed people to race swap other characters, people would just laugh at it. No one would care. But it's a dogma. It's a religious edict almost, I think. And that's the response we're getting from a lot of people that are defending the race swaps, where it's like, okay, this is more to you. This is not just a creative decision. This is just not like a play where they kind of race swap the characters because the actors they have there are just, they can't find the exact actors, or they're just choosing the best actors they have. If you go to a play, no one really cares about the race swaps, but I think if you're doing it so intentionally and you're calling everyone racist that are calling it out, that shows that, hey, you have a different meaning here and you're not having fun, and this is entertainment and it's about fun. If you're not having fun, that is obvious to everyone. And I think that's the thing we see with a lot of people when it comes to this situation. That people are going to notice and go, hey, you're doing this for a different reason and it's not really fun anymore. And I think that's what a lot of people notice with the Odyssey. Even though I think the Odyssey was okay, the race swaps didn't really get in the way too much. I think it kind of handled it in the way you saw in a play, where it was just there. It wasn't something that was glaringly stated that, hey, I'm an Asian guy, hey, I'm Indian. It was like, no, it was just there were characters playing. Even though I think the dialogue was terrible, I think there was a lot of things bad with Odyssey, but I think what Nolan did with this, it wasn't completely egregious. Even AJ Lies said he liked the Odyssey. Not to confuse people, I did not like the Odyssey, but I don't like Christopher Nolan that much, so I'm not a fair person to ask I don't like Christopher Nolan's Interstellar, Dunkirk, Oppenheimer, Tenet. So I'm just not a Christopher Nolan fan. I think it was okay. I think he's kind of short. He lost a step in his directing style, but I think he's doing a story about Odyssey. It's hard not to have an entertaining movie with Odyssey. I think it's just a story that lends itself to being entertained. It's something of entertainment value because there's giants, there's witches, it's a journey. But I don't think Christopher Nolan can write an epic or something that has a journey type of feel, an adventure feel. He doesn't know how to write characters, so he's not a good character director. So with Odyssey, I think you need to give characters a sort of personality. He didn't do that. Tom Holland was a non-character. I forget her name. She was a non-character as well. Only Robert Pattinson had the personality. I think everyone else didn't really have a personality. So I don't blame you, Human User One. I wouldn't want to stay in the Odyssey for 3 hours. So it's not a movie that's worth staying in the theater for 3 hours for. So I would have just wait for it to come on streaming and just walk around. It's a walk around while you clean the house type of movie. I think Odyssey. You can watch it in the background, and I think that's the sad part. It's a background movie. It's like, why are you making a background movie for the theater? Yeah, Nolan has terrible dialogue. People refuse to talk about this. Nolan has terrible dialogue. His characters are not interesting ever. So it's just like, what am I watching you for? He's a great director, though. That's the thing. What's up, Large Small World? I haven't seen you for a while. Well, I saw you last time, but I saw you by the end of the show last time, but I didn't get to say hello. Yeah. We gotta laugh. I think that's the thing. I think we gotta laugh, and I think a lot of the problems we're having right now because a group of people are refusing other people to laugh at things, and I think that's what we're seeing happening in the gaming industry. I think that's what we're seeing happening with one particular individual. I have to say, and I have to talk about Jason Schreier, public enemy number one of the gaming industry, and I think. I had a video came out about him just recently, but it's just like he's the representation that we're seeing right now in the gaming industry. The person that doesn't want you to have fun, that sees gamers having fun, and he comes in and says, hey, they're abusing people, they're doing something terrible. I'm going to tear down this establishment, and I'm going to make sure you never have fun again. And I think that's what we ultimately see with some of the controversy surrounding Jason Schreier, because he's being pointed out as the person that led to the full destruction of the gaming industry. Not the full destruction. There's many parts. He was just an added part after Gamergate and so much other parts. He was the journalist that came in and messed up Blizzard, which was riding high on the success of being Blizzard, having World of Warcraft, Overwatch, so much other properties, and being a successful company built and founded by gamers. And I think that's the thing that we obviously loved about some of these old establishment franchises, because they were obviously founded by gamers. They were supported by gamers, and the developers that made some of the best games were just plain gamers that loved what they did. And I think that's what we ultimately saw, where the jealousy from Jason Schreier and many other journalistic people within this square of society, that's where they came from. They came from, oh, there we go, Benjamin Altman. There, I got the alerts. The alerts are working. So if you want to donate, you can donate. We got the alerts on. Damn, you want to watch Christopher Nolan versus Homer rap battle? I'll do that. Let me finish this segment on Jason Schreier. We'll go to the Christopher Nolan. We're gonna have a topic on Christopher Nolan coming up, so we'll go to that afterwards. But Jason Schreier, he's a liar number one, and I think that's the thing that has been coming out recently around Jason Schreier, because he's kind of messed up the gaming industry. It kind of links to what we saw about the topic, the video from Benjamin Altman, where we have these people coming out trying to tear down these different industries based purely on race-based issues where they're looking at game developers and saying, hey, there's not enough black people, there's not enough women, there's not enough people that are gay in this group. You have to fire people that are perfectly good to include these people that may or may not be interested in gaming. And I think that's the essential thing we see as Jason Schreier's shtick, where he's coming in, messing up perfectly good organizations to fill it up with a quota of people that may or may not be interested in gaming. Of course, that is the idea with people like Jason Schreier, is to fill up the ranks of these industry global conglomerates and organizations that become billion-dollar organizations that have influence over the mind of many gamers, and that is his main goal, to get that influence over that gaming spectrum of gamers that are out there playing these games. And I think that's what we saw happen with Blizzard, with some of the controversy around them, where Blizzard was put into a position where it had to settle with the state government. Over $50 million. Let me get that graphic up. Had to settle with the government over $50 million over something that never really happened at the company. And when it comes down to it, that is exactly what Jason Schreier says himself in some of his recent video trying to deny this take, where over the past few years, we saw the details of the civil rights case that was brought against Blizzard and Activision based on crazy rumors about Cosby rooms, harassment of female co-workers, a frat boy environment where everyone was disrespecting everyone that was a female, disrespecting individuals with LGBTQ backgrounds, things like that. They were tearing down the entire gaming industry, specifically this company in itself, because they're trying to find the evildoers that were clearly not even apparently there after a year-long investigation into this case. And I think that's the situation a lot of gamers are aware of nowadays, where a lot of the things that we thought were real weren't really real at all. There were fabrications from journalistic hacks that want to quickly and mostly influence the gaming industry. And I think that's what we see with some of the allegations when it was clarified. You see it here, July 2021, California's Department of Fair Employment and Housing, later the Civil Rights Department, files a lawsuit against Activision Blizzard. The complaint is explosive. It describes a workplace where women face constant harassment, discrimination in pay and promotions, and a culture that enabled it. Specific claims jumped out and dominated coverage. A hotel suite, BlizzCon, nicknamed Cosby Suite. This is the frat boy culture. These people were abusing women, stories of extreme misconduct, including harassing employees until they got them to I don't want to say the word, but self-deletion, allegations involving drinking breast milk. There's something about breast milk with a lot of these I guess these left-wing activists, these progressive activists. I think this is what we saw on The Boys, and it seems like something that is highlighted by these people for some reason when it comes to false accusations of such, or anything that's fictitious. They like including men drinking breast milk for some reason, which is kind of odd. But we're dealing with odd people. But I think this is where we see the allegations. They popped up. A lot of people pointing these allegations were patently false by the end of it, because by the end of these this push of these allegations, we figured out that none of this was real. And the lawsuits that came out, or the settlement that came out, they had a statement that came attached to it that said directly that we did an investigation, none of these claims were true, and we had multiple investigations that clarified no one was accused of doing any of this because none of it actually happened. So that was part of the settlement agreement with the state. And I know people are going to say, hey, they settled because they actually did something. That's usually not the case with some settlements. Some settlements are done because they just want to get out of the situation and continue to promote their games, or they have a sale coming. And that's exactly what we saw with Activision Blizzard. It sold to Xbox quickly right after. And I think that's the situation we see right now within the gaming community, where these charges are used as threats and not really as anything other than something to bully these organizations. And I think Jason Schreier did this with this specific purpose, to bully these organizations and put in a position where they can be influenced and changed. And that's exactly what happened in the gaming industry. That influence came over and changed the industry into something that it wasn't. You can clearly see this with some old game developers. This is the current state of gaming right now, where you have these activists that simply do not belong here, talking like they own the gaming industry, like they are the people that created the classics that we love, when that is not the case. These people weren't there. They don't even know the classics that we love. More than anything, they probably despise the games that we love in the way that they were created, because they're created by people they don't agree with, they don't identify with. They see it as a patriarchy, they see it as some sort of supremacy thing they have to rout out. And I think that's the thing that we see often with this current age of gaming, this current generation of game developers, where they're not really there to develop any games. They're there to bully the gaming audience to accept a version of gaming that simply is unacceptable to the audience themselves, because we're not going to play. We don't like those games, and we don't like you. I think that's what a lot of people are saying, especially with the Bethesda layoffs and everything seeing around that. I think that's the part where a lot of people show their disagreement with.
Morale is really low because, we've been told that we're making great games.
Who are you and why should I care?
We make all kinds of games all kinds of people love.
Who the is that guy? Who the is that?
Really nice if we could just get back to work and make them games that will define a generation of video gaming.
I worked at ZeniMax for about 5 years.
Who are you?
We are having a march and a rally to demand dignity and respect and an end to the cycle of layoffs.
You're fired!
And that's our reaction to these protests that we see. These people like, hey, we don't really like you anymore. You didn't really produce anything that we liked. In the current version of Bethesda, you made something that was absolutely ugly out of Bethesda. These are the people that made Starfield. Like, Starfield is one of the worst games Bethesda ever made. So how am I supposed to be sad for your part in being laid off of an organization that is in the absolute dregs of the gaming world today? And I think that's the thing a lot of people are responding to today. They're just like, I don't want to be a part of this. And I think Jason Schreier is kind of the figurehead. He's the face of it. He's the person that drove this transformation in gaming from dedicated fanboys, dedicated gamers. And he was trying to paint them as if they were like frat boys at an actually frat party. Like, these are not frat boys. These are the absolute nerds that were nowhere near the frat boys, that were excluded. And they try to paint them in the same brush because that's all they know. All they know about this anything related to a masculine imperative and masculine experience. They only know about the frat boy experience. They don't know the solitude nerd experience, where you don't even exist in the eyes of the majority of society. So you just stay hunkered down and play your part and do the things that you love. And eventually those things that you work on and develop and create in the dark, seedy corners of an office with your friends and other people, like-minded individuals, eventually become something, some kind of standard for society. And I think that is ultimately what we're seeing right now with the gaming world. I think that's what we see these people covet about the gaming world, that the gaming world created its own thing and they didn't have control over it, and they want control over it. And we have people like Jason Schreier coming out, fabricating, manipulating things, and trying to reach and manipulate that piece of I guess salvation the gamers have found within the world that really didn't offer any. It sounds pretty sappy, but that's the case. That's the case. But let's hear Jason Schreier say it himself. I think I have a video of him saying it, so we might as well hear him say it himself about the allegations, where I think he kind of diminishes it, where he doesn't want to talk about it specifically. Let's see.
So the article publishes the screenshot of the group text. The article doesn't really mention that the Bill Cosby allegations only resurfaced a year before the...
And yes, this is how I thought Jason Schreier would sound. He would sound extremely effeminate. He would have no video games in the background. You have pink comic books and pink stuff that really show that he's not really a person into gaming at all. And I think that's the thing you notice about him.
Photos were taken. And it also doesn't mention that the group text referred to Dave Kozak's wife and Michelle Morrow. And so I spoke to Michelle Morrow about this. Michelle Morrow was really pissed that Kotaku had published this. She felt like it was totally taken out of context, even though it was referring to her. And she felt like it was not right. Here's a quote from her in the book. So the article publishes the screenshot of the group text. The article doesn't really mention that the Bill Cosby allegations only resurfaced a year before the photos were taken. And it also doesn't mention that the group text referred to Dave Kozak's.
So a lot of the people that they have even quoted were taken out of context. And I think that's the thing that I get from this specifically, where he's kind of just he's being pushed into a position where he has to show the receipts, and the receipts are simply not there for him. So I don't think this is the right clip I was supposed to get, but just based on this clip alone, you see that he's trying to defend his position. His position is just simply kind of untenable right now because people are looking at all the details and they're going, okay, you simply don't know what you're doing anymore. And I think that's the thing a lot of people are having an easy time of understanding with him. But let's watch Christopher Nolan versus Homer rap battle. I promise Benjamin Altman, I'm done with this segment. Let's see. I'm kind of interested in this as well. 2 weeks ago. Okay, I was about to say. Which one? Should I go to let's go to the real Homer. The real Homer. I was going to go to the animation Homer. Haven't watched these in such a long time.
I wrote the classic so good, you just gotta turn the page. You made the cheap knockoff, bitch, we are not the same. Did you seriously cast Lupita Nyong'o? And it's Helen of Troy, not Helen of Congo. I didn't even get to the part with Anne Hathaway, cause your film was so woke I fell asleep halfway. I hope you made good money at the box office tape. Was it worth selling out by making my book gay?
There's only one thing here that's pretty rich, mate. That's an ancient
Hey, they're
Greek
making
saying things
Christopher
are too
Nolan.
gay. Not that there's anything wrong with being gay. Now, where was I? What was I trying to say? Oh yeah, you suck when people hear your name. They think of Homer Simpson first, not your gay Greek plays again. Not that there's anything wrong with being gay. I'm not homophobic, I'm just saying.
You might not be homophobic, but you're clearly homophobic. You made the ancient Greeks walk when they were supposed to be stoic. My original scripture, you haven't even read it. Your entire script reads like it was written by Reddit. Your directorial choices were more mind-numbing than trying to imagine Elliot Page's plumbing. And what's with the dialogue? Mine's better, period. Yours is more awkward than Elliot Page's period.
Let's start at the end and go back to the beginning, to a time before you wrote your stupid book that I'm stealing. Don't worry if that don't make sense, it will eventually. Your mind will be more bent than the cast of this movie, like the plot of Inception. I'll put the witness in your brain. I am Christopher, the director, and pronoun respecter from pronoun.
Okay, got some
pronouns
rhymes.
ease, or I'll accept you. Unless your name is Homer, then I fucking hate you.
Did you seriously cast Zendaya in the Odyssey? You do know that this story ain't a comedy?
We'll see what you have to say during my Oscar speech. I'll remake the Iliad next if you don't stop with the hate speech.
Your woke ideology made the movie worse. You snuck it in like a Trojan horse.
I don't know what a Trojan horse is, man. I didn't read the book, but I do know that Homer looks shook.
Bro, your movie's trash. It's all over Twitter. And the music sucks. Where the fuck is Hans Zimmer? Just look at your
Music was
cast.
terrible.
They made me snigger. For the sake of Zeus, you hired a singer.
I know what you wanted to say, Homer.
Casting, half your cast is half cast. You rewrote my writing to rewrite the past. In a Greek movie, you casted only blacks and gay. Let's see how brave you are when casting Planet of the Apes.
Who won? It was Homer.
Is this the original rap battle channel? They wouldn't go this far. This can't be the original rap battle. Yeah, it has to. They wouldn't do. They wouldn't go this far. This is too out there for them. Let me see. Dr. Foxotic. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's it. That AI is really gonna be impressing a lot of people now. This is really impressive. The AI they made Christopher Nolan look a little too skinny. I was like, man, this guy, he's kind of chubby right now. But the AI is really good right now. Anyone can be brought back to life. They got Homer out here really rhyming. This is the sort of thing I want to see. Just people just putting their... This doesn't look like Christopher Nolan at all here. It's like, nah, this is not. This looks like a mixture of Val Kilmer and Christopher Nolan. The AI needs this consistency still, but it's getting there. Let me see what else he got. Oh, this is the channel that had the Skyrim. Oh, okay, I know this channel then. That had the gay Skyrim. Let me see. Let's see a little bit of this. This was hilarious. Hopefully he doesn't copyright.
D, it's me, Lydia. I need you to wake up, D.
Lydia? Where am I?
Red Guard Lives Matter.
Welcome to Skyrim, D.
Hey, this fool finally woke.
Hey.
My name's Ralph, and my pronouns are Z, the, ya dig. You got caught speaking hate speech, right? Same as us, and that in wall over there.
Focus, D. Listen to them talk.
You, Mr. Far Right. I was not speaking hate speech.
That is just modern gaming right there.
You see, my first name is Nick, second name Gurr. This was all a big misunderstanding. My friend here tried to explain the situation.
I like the trap music in the background.
Y'all fall right now, homie.
Cool it with the microaggressions back there.
Hey, flick you! Not trying to kink shame or anything, but what's up with Dave Sam? Why are they gagged? Shut your ass up, fool! This homie right here is Ja Ulfric, the realest high king in War of Skyrim. Please don't use that word. It belongs to the...
This is a... That is just a reflection of modern day gaming. So much interaction is just kind of thrown at you right in front of the screen. It's just ridiculous. It's just like, what am I looking at here? Like, I'm doing nothing, but my level is increasing. I think that's the perfect picture of games made for journalists. And of course, you have all the woke little bits and pieces, the terrible music. But yeah, I remember I seen this video.
It's not your word to you. I'm darker than a new, ain't I? Plus it's our word, and we reclaiming that slur. Oh, you silly stormcloak. Why are you so racist against all the immigrants the Empire are bringing in to take all our jobs? Hey, I'm black, so it's impossible for me to be racist. The Empire wants to mix all the races.
That's like the Muslim
black people. That's
thing on the
racist. And if NY belongs to the Dark Elves, then Skyrim belongs to the black people. Wow, you spoke and I listened, and I hear you. Lots to think about there. Thank you for educating me and for having such patience. Technology. This conversation has truly been a transformative experience, not just for me, but for all.
It's like, damn, you're talking a lot.
Hey, what are your pronouns anyway, homie? Caesar. Caesar.
Happy Red Guard History Month, everyone.
Happy Red Guard.
Oh man, they got. I forgot about this. Have the George Floyd loading screen. Dang. I think it's funny meme culture. George Floyd, Charlie Kirk. It's funny, sad, and scary. What's happening with AI?
Hey, that General Tullius is actually kind of cute. Hell yeah, homie. He can invade my black marsh any day.
This is too much. Alright, we saw enough. Oh, wokeness level 2.
A situationship with a gay transgender Argonian here. I wonder if she's still selling crack.
This guy spent a lot of good time. There's a part 2,
but morals are grayer than.
Let's check out the part 2. I'll leave that to you. I didn't see the part 2 yet. I gotta see bits and pieces of it.
D, I found us a safe space. Get your fat ass in here. And I mean that as a compliment. This way, D.
I need to check on Nick first.
D, Nick is unalived.
Frick you, Lydia. Nick.
Unalived.
Stay with me, Nick.
I'm not a racist.
Oh, Jesus. Nah!
D, you can keep the memory of Nick alive by purchasing the Nick skin in the Battle Pass.
Oh!
Looks like you caught us in the act, huh, D? You don't mind if we keep this party going, do you?
Yes, I'm a bigot.
I was going to say something bigoted there, but I chose not to.
Damn straight, D, so to speak. And besides, you have no right to tell me when or when not to.
That is modern day Dragon Age Veilguard. You try to say something rude, but it says something. It says something that's not so rude. So you don't even have really a rude option.
Sexuality. Now take your pants off.
Well, I don't want to be a bigot, so okay.
Guess now I know why they call you D.
Great job, D.
Thanks.
This way, D.
Happy Redguard.
No!
Back the frick up, motherfucker.
Oh, God. He hates corn
Red
bread.
guards love fried chicken, and now red guards are getting fried. Makes you think, huh?
Oh, frick! I'm gonna have to jump.
D, you're going to have to jump.
You gonna have to jump, D. I'll reach
Yes,
you
I'm a
around
biggie.
the other side. In more ways
Oh, it's
than
an
one,
AI
if you
comedy
know what
channel.
I mean.
Okay, that makes sense. I
Why
like
don't you
it.
jump too?
You can do this, D.
Oh, Christ! I don't know if I can do this.
Just breathe.
Don't make me jump.
We'll jump together on the count of 3, okay?
Okay.
One Mississippi.
Oh, God, I changed
One
my
Mississippi.
mind.
If you've been subscribed to Dr. Foxotic, then you've
Okay,
definitely
this is a
seen
good-
these banger songs that he's been dropping. Well, now you can also make cool AI music like the song playing right now. Refinement, with the
Sorry,
recent
gotta
release,
skip.
Professional.
Eureka. Okay, I might have to look into this. Stop killing us. Okay. Get to a safe space.
Hallelujah.
Focus, D.
Minor person, this way, please. If you don't, you're going to be unalived.
Run!
Birthing parent, you're next.
What? I can't hear a word you're saying.
Run! No!
Oh my God.
Oof. So your birthing parent was unalived. Sucks to be you. D, was it? I have some news for you now.
What type of voice is
be
this?
delayed. Thank you later.
Thanks.
Gunner, I hate minors because they require care and personal responsibility, but you love minors because you are
I
a
think
minor.
this really reflects some of the voice acting we've been seeing in gaming. This guy is doing a pretty good job because you get some voice actors, especially Assassin's Creed Shadows. Some of the voice actors, the voice actor for now some other characters where it's just so flat and no energy because they had to do real casting comparisons with the voice actor and the race of the person that's in the game. So they try to find a person that's the exact race of that person, and you just have voice acting that becomes out flat. You don't have a professional. I think that's what we see with a lot of modern day gaming. Terrible, low, flat voice lines.
Attractive person, which means you're clearly the expert in this situation, so you must look after the minor. Trust the experts, right?
Right.
Don't worry, Minor. Maps might seem bad, but they are an oppressed minority, which means they are good.
Oh, maps, not maps. Oh no.
Live peacefully, knowing my gender-neutral offspring will be adopted by a map.
Hell yeah! We'll prove all the map haters wrong. Eventually.
Map right.
Hey, so white!
Look away, D.
He's clearly attacking black people and black people only!
He's unaliving them with hate speech.
Okay, I got the subtitles
while
on.
maintaining social distancing, of course.
Of course.
Keep 6 feet away from everyone.
General Tullius, sir. Abort. I hear Redguard saying he can't breathe, so I will get off his back.
Yeah, if only some people would do the same.
Well said, guys.
This way, B.
It's D. D for don't wear it out.
That's not what I heard from Ralph. Well, if it isn't Ralph. Too bad we didn't behead you earlier. It's the least you deserve after ghosting me following that passionate night we shared in Riften.
Now, why would you want to behead me over some bad head?
I never said it was bad. Prisoner, I mean D. Come with me and we can fight for gender equality.
Don't listen to Zer, D. Come with me, so to speak, and we can fight for Red Guard rights.
Yes, I think.
So who's it gonna be, D? The guy who was gonna behead you, or the guy who be giving head to you?
D, you now have a choice between helping
This is small anime
I want to
cartoon.
support
or
both.
helping Ralph fight for Red Guard rights.
Damn it!
Hurry, D. If you don't choose within the time limit, you'll be unalived.
Oh no, he's dead!
D.
Sucks to be you.
Oh God.
Unalived. I hate that word, but unfortunately we gotta use it
Helping Hotbar
online.
fight for gender
I want
We got the Obama. Alright, we gotta stop this. I gotta go back on schedule. I still got a few stuff to talk about, so unfortunately we can't finish this. But if you want to look it up, it's probably good just to get this channel, get its own views. So go to Dr. Foxotic. Go watch his videos. He's making some good videos. I love that first part of Skyrim, but a modern day game. He's, of course, the Homer Christopher Nolan rap battle. That's good as well. So this guy deserves his views. So if you want to finish it, go to this channel, watch it, give him a like and comment, and appreciate him for a lot of hard work that he put into this, because he put a lot of hard work into this. So I don't want to take all of his views by watching it here. So all of his views, there's only a couple of people here watching it with me. So but still, he deserves those views as well. So but let's move on to the next topic. What is the next topic? Now we're done with Jason Schreier. Done with this. Oh yeah, just like I said before, put a bow on this. The people that are trying to influence gaming, they don't care about gaming. This is what we see with Anita Sarkeesian, what she came to Gamergate. She flatly said, I'm not a fan of video games. I actually had to learn a lot to actually proceed with video games. And of course, she changed this afterwards, after she got involved with Gamergate, talking at the UN. She says, I've always been playing video games. I played Mario and everything else my whole life. And this is the people we're dealing with. People that are skin suiting the look of a gamer because they just want to take control of the gaming industry, because they want to have that influence and power, and a lot of people want to change the mind of gamers. So they're going to support them, fund them, and make sure they have that influence. And I think that's the thing that we're seeing ultimately with the journalists and the activists that are engaging in this environment. But that is just what we know for the past few years. It's what we come to learn, and it's inescapable now, especially with a lot of the lies that we've been seeing in the gaming industry. But moving on. Oh, it's Spider-Man time. And yeah, I gotta talk about Spider-Man. Spider-Man, I saw it last week. I had my doubts that it would ever be a good movie. I was like, there's no way they're gonna make a better movie than No Way Home. And No Way Home wasn't the best movie, but it was still a comic book movie I loved. And I think that's the thing I'm feeling with this Spider-Man. I thought it was going to be a comic book movie that would fail, but ultimately it did everything that I liked about comic book movies. Not to say it was a perfect movie, but it captured the Spider-Man I wanted to see. The Spider-Man that is alone, he's a loser, he's fighting the many enemies, he's trying to maintain his life as Spider-Man as best as he could. And I like that he was Spider-Man for the majority of the movie, where he was going places as Spider-Man, walking into buildings, talking to people, doing work as Spider-Man. He wasn't taking off the suit all the time. And I think that's the thing I absolutely loved about this version, where yes, he was Spider-Man the whole time. I know it sounds crazy to see it, but that's the case with this movie, where he was Spider-Man for most of the time. And I think this is the defining movie specifically for Tom Holland, where yes, he was Spider-Man here. I think for the past 3 movies, it was good setup to become Spider-Man. I think a lot of people were complaining about those movies, and rightfully so, because he wasn't 100% Spider-Man. He was a young kid. He was in high school. He wasn't the complete package of Spider-Man that we absolutely love and revere. And I think that's the thing people were angry about with this version of Spider-Man, where people were going, okay, this is not the Spider-Man I love. But I think in this one, with the development of the character and just the situation they put him in, I'm not going to give too much spoilers if you haven't seen it. I'm thinking everyone already saw it, but for me, I like this Spider-Man. I like this movie. I don't think it's the best movie ever made. I'm not saying it's better than Spider-Man 2. I'm not even going to say it's better than Spider-Man 1, but it may have equaled Spider-Man 1 for at least me, where this is an introduction to a true version of Spider-Man. I think that's the thing I like about this, where it could sit comfortably within the Raimi universe as a Spider-Man that is contending with the original Spider-Man movies. And I think that's the thing I like. It reached a standard and a level where I was like, okay, this is a Spider-Man I can enjoy, I can love, I can see as Spider-Man, and I look forward to future movies with him. And I think that's all I wanted to see, essentially. I think it was just a cool version of Spider-Man that we can really spend time with, and we don't have to feel like this is a cheapened version that is not really coming with that full experience of kind of Peter Parker struggling. I know people are going to say, hey, how do you have all that money for all that material? What was he doing? What was his job? Where was he getting fired? I'm like, yes, we could have saw parts of that. But I think a lot of people complaining about some things in this movie, I'm like, hey, you really don't understand This is kind of like the modern day version of Spider-Man. I know people are saying this is modern day. This is doing it for the modern audience. I'm not talking like that. I'm saying this is a modern day version of Spider-Man where a lot of the things that he can get are cheap. He can make an AI system. I have an AI system. Everyone in computer science and engineering has an AI system or agent right now. So why can't Spider-Man, who's a genius, make his own Claude machine AI agent using some Apple hard drive or something, smart machine or something like that, and create his own version of an AI system that responds to him? That is a cheap system now, Tony Stark's AI system. So I think when we hear things with it, the technology, the monitors he finds that he has in his apartment, he can easily pick through the trash of some company, grab some monitors, grab some hardware. He is Spider-Man. I think for a lot of the things he has, it's affordable, especially living in New York that's being blown up half the time. I'm thinking rent is going to be cheap. So people complaining about his poverty not being clear and apparent, I think it's there, but I think they wanted to focus on the Spider-Man experience with him just really delving into being Spider-Man and not really ever caring about Peter Parker. And I think that's the essential thing we got from the director, where he didn't want this to be a focus on Peter Parker. He wanted this to be a focus on Spider-Man. And I appreciated him for that. I'm like, okay, I want to see Peter Parker. And I think that is the thing a lot of people are fans of. We want to see Peter Parker. No, we want to see Spider-Man, not Peter Parker. I want to see Spider-Man. I think we saw enough of Peter Parker. I think we saw Peter Parker for 3 movies as a kid. And I think we saw Peter Parker as an adult with the previous Spider-Man movies. I think I want to see Spider-Man as an adult, and I think we got to see him here. And I think hopefully we see him like this for a couple more movies. And I know there's a lot of other complaints about this movie. People are really mad about Jean Grey, and I'm not going to hold them. They can be mad at that. They kind of messed up a lot of parts of Jean Grey, I think, for the most part. She's not really that character they're describing that they put out there. That's not really the Jean Grey that is supposed to be in the movie. So I think that's the thing a lot of people are angry about. I'm not going to be mad at that. I think I like this version of Jean Grey. She's different. I think we can get different versions of these characters, and I'm okay with it. I think that's the thing. I'm kind of leaning into this version of the space of gaming, space of Marvel, where I'm like, okay, you can change these characters. You better make them interesting characters. And I think this Jean Grey is an interesting character still. And I think that's all I'm asking for if you're going to change a character. Make them interesting, make them intriguing, make them an actual person that will be interested in seeing as an individual in this world. And I think we see a version of Jean Grey that's interesting. And I think that's the thing I think they succeeded in doing. No, it's not the Jean Grey from the comic books. It's not exactly that Jean Grey, and she looks like she killed a few people. So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe she saw something in their memory. Maybe some of them were a predator or something, or who met Chris Hansen or something. Maybe she saw that, but she seems a lot more vicious. I like the softer version of Jean Grey that we see in the animations, where she's kind of weak, she's not as strong, and she's kind of a kind, soft, and caring individual. And I think I want to see that version of Jean Grey. And I don't think we see it with this one. So I'm sad about that, but I still think this is an interesting character. So I'll let it slide. I won't be too angry about it. Yeah, Benjamin Altman, yeah, Spider-Man proved me wrong. They did a good job. It's a good movie. If you go see it, don't expect the best movie in the world. It's still a comic book movie, but it was fun. It was entertaining, and I wanted the movie to keep going on, even though it was 2 hours and a half. I was like, man, let's see what's gonna happen next, and it was like, oh, it's done. And when it finished, it was a satisfying ending where I was like, okay, I want to see this movie again. And I think that is the experience a lot of people just want with their entertainment. They want to see something that is satisfying, and it was a great summer movie. I think that's the thing it caught as well. It was a great summer movie where I was like, okay, I had a great Saturday going out with people, seeing this and having a fun time. It was a good addition to your day, and I think that's what you want with a summer flick. I didn't get that from Odyssey. Odyssey didn't feel good after the theater. I was like, I was tired. Like, finally, let's go do something fun. That's how I felt after Odyssey. I was like, finally, I saw it. Let's go do something fun now. But in Spider-Man, I was like, wow, we had fun at the theater. Let's talk about the fun we had in the theater. And maybe I saw it in 4DX. I saw it like the movie was kind of, the seat was shaking, something was hitting your butt while Spider-Man fell down. We were smelling stuff. We had mist in our eyes during snow scenes. So that was fun too. So maybe I went to a good theater as well. So that was a good experience for me. Yeah, I think that helped. No one remembered Peter Parker. I think that really was a smart thing they did in the previous movie. Yeah, I got to see it again in the theater. I haven't been able to see it again, unfortunately. Yeah, people complaining about New York, I understand, but this is the New York that has been destroyed 3 times. Just recently, the Thunderbolts had like a shadow Superman wiping people out. So I'm thinking the rent is probably cheap. Too much people died in New York, so... Yeah, I like this version. I think this is an interesting version of Jean Grey. So I want to see what they do with her. If they make this, build upon this character in a smart way, like a real writer, like a real kind of storyteller does, then I'm gonna be happy with it. So I'm just hoping for some real storytelling from Marvel. Like, hey, you gotta up the levels here. You gotta actually be good at this. You gotta put in the work and maybe produce something that is actually interesting and of quality for the audience to actually respect. And I think that's the thing. That's the only thing a lot of gamers are asking for. A lot of people that are just fans of Marvel are asking for. So, yeah, she seemed like she was entering the Dark Phoenix period. Hopefully they don't do the Dark Phoenix. But the person that's working on it, I think he worked on the Dark Phoenix, so it's just hard to say what we're gonna get. But yeah, it seems like you're right, Ages of Chaos. Tom Holland really seems focused on making things for the fans. So I think that's the thing I like about Tom Holland as Spider-Man. He really wants to produce something good. So he's a good Spider-Man. He's a hero. He's a hero Spider-Man. He's the Spider-Man that we need. And I like that ending where we just see Spider-Man like, okay, they really like me as Spider-Man. I gotta. The hard work is paying off, and I think that's what Tom Holland is seeing right now. The hard work is paying off as Spider-Man. I think we could have a legendary trilogy of Spider-Man. There's a good start for a trilogy. We just need that killer second movie. And I think they have the setup to do that, at least from the things I'm seeing with the detective, the police officer detective that's there. I see where they're going, and I'm excited to see it. And they're setting up things, and I think they set it up quietly, and I think that's the thing a lot of people are gonna be happy about, where it feels like Marvel's smart again all of a sudden. It actually gives me slight hope for Avengers Doomsday. Like, maybe they might know what they're doing, but I highly doubt it still. Avengers Doomsday, the trailer looked like it was trash, so I'm not gonna give too much hope. But I will see Avengers Doomsday. I wasn't really expecting to see it, but I might have to give it a chance. So I think that's the thing a lot of people are really realizing. He's been having a good summer. Him and his wife been having a good summer. His movies are making $2 billion combined, probably $3 billion combined, and it's just crazy to see the numbers for Spider-Man, but it's well deserved. It's a power couple, and I know people are gonna say power couple, well deserved. Zendaya is a terrible actress. I'm like, yeah, you could say that. She's not really the best actress. A lot of people making fun of her, like, man, she can't act. She's not that good at her job. And I'm not gonna talk trash about her. She might be a bit one note, I have to say, though. She's not that great. At least to the memes I'm seeing. I'm like, why does she always make that face? Maybe they just captured that face, but I think she kind of has like a boring look sometimes, and I think she can look good in movies. And I think with this Spider-Man Brand New Day, I think she looked better. She looked like they actually tried to make her look appealing and attractive. So I'm like, okay, they're actually maybe trying to do better. And I feel like that's the thing we're seeing with Brand New Day, is doing what a lot of movies won't do in Hollywood, where Zendaya actually looks like an attractive individual in A Brand New Day. So I'm like, okay, they might be changing things and how things are going, and I think that's what we're seeing happening with the casting for the X-Men, and I think that's the thing a lot of people are looking forward to, the X-Men. Oh yeah, I want to welcome Benjamin Altman. Welcome to the Know Nothings. Welcome to the membership. It's nice to see a new membership on the channel. But Cyclops has been cast, at least that's what people are speculating. He's coming from Deadline. They're hiring someone called Kit Connor. He's in a show called Heartstopper. I have no idea what the show is, so I'm not too sure about it, but he looks okay as Cyclops. He's not the best looking Cyclops. Not really the Cyclops I was hoping for, but he's a long line of list of actors that they're choosing that are kind of dead on to their roles, and I think he might be able to play a Cyclops. I heard he's tall. Thanks, Benjamin Walton, and I appreciate the membership, and I think that's what we see with Cyclops. I think they're getting dead ringers for all their X-Men characters, where I think this actor, even though I don't know him, I don't think he looks particular sharp. He looks better than Cooper Hoffman, but he looks like he can play a Cyclops character, and I think that's what we're seeing with a lot of the roles coming out for the X-Men, where I'm thinking they're not holding back. They're getting dead ringers. They're getting people that can play off these characters. They're getting good actors, and I think that's the thing I'm noticing as well. There are no bad actors they're choosing. They're choosing only good actors to play these roles, and I'm hearing he's a good actor as well, so maybe people are lying, but I think that is the thing that we're seeing play out right now. People are Marvel's choosing good actors to play roles, and they're not choosing ugly people anymore. So it seems like they're serious about making money. When I see this with Marvel, and I think Kevin Feige is kind of realizing that they have to actually have a massive successful property with X-Men, and I feel like that's what they're going for. They're not going to make any mistakes. And of course, I know people are going to bring up what happened with the what was it? Not Lord of the Rings. Harry Potter. Harry Potter has a stellar cast, but they ruined that with the Black Snape casting, where the entire casting doesn't matter because you have Black Snape and it ruins the entire story. Although I don't think they have a character as key for the X-Men like that will ruin the whole story if they race swap them, but I think they kind of do. I think all the characters, if you change their race, kind of changes the dynamic of these characters, and it kind of pushes away people that grew up with these characters. And I think they're not trying to push away the audience, and I think I like that with this casting of Cyclops, where he does look like a guy. He's a guy that may be able to pull off Cyclops. He has the jaw, he's a good actor. He has the muscle and build, so I think he'll look good in the suit. So I think, and he has red hair. They're actually choosing people with red hair. That is crazy that Hollywood is choosing people with red hair to play the roles of characters that have red hair. That is a strong signal, I think, from Kevin Feige, showing we're not dealing with the kind of race swap nonsense. We're really making the characters look dead on, and we're going to go for a story that is unimpeachable to the fan base. And I think that is the thing that's winning me over with this X-Men. The casting is showing me that they're serious. Kevin Feige doesn't want to mess this up, and he looks like he wants to keep his job, and he wants to have a successful career and legacy. And I think that is a winning formula for Marvel, where you have a person that's in the production that cares about making something good. And that's all we want as people that are fans of these comic books. We want someone that cares about making something of quality, of a higher standard. And I think Kevin Feige is a person that seems to he stumbled, he lost his way, he was overworked, he was working with people with different ideologies, he was complacent, he was acquiescent to their demands, he maybe even believed some of the things that were happened during the Disney Plus flop arc of Marvel, where they're producing non-stop terrible content. They still are producing non-stop terrible content. If you watch the Daredevil and Punisher series that have recently come up. The one shot of Punisher is terrible. Daredevil the past 2 seasons has been terrible. So he's been producing terrible content consistently these past few years. So I had no hope for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Had no hope for this casting of the X-Men. I thought it was just going to be race swap nonsense. Trash actors chosen, Nepo babies that can't act, that are just there to be the face of an old generation of Hollywood that is just destroying the industry. No, I don't see any Nepo babies here. I just see pure talent in actors being chosen. Samara Weaving is one actor that I thought, hey, she should be everywhere. Why isn't she playing every hot actress role in Hollywood? But that's not the case. She's just put to the back burner and she's barely getting movies, and we're seeing 100 Nepo babies being casted in every single role. I think that's the thing I see here is the opposite, where it seems like Kevin Feige wants to win, and I like that. I like seeing people like Kevin Feige deciding, hey, I want to win. I want to have a successful stepping out stepping down as a person that led Marvel, and even though we stumbled, I brought us back to success. I think that's what he's trying to do with Spider-Man, X-Men, and maybe even Avengers Doomsday. I don't know how he's going to do with Avengers Doomsday. He has some of the worst character actors in there. He has Pedro Pascal. He's one of the main reasons I wasn't even going to see the movie. I was like, I don't want to see him. I'd even see Fantastic Four. I was like, oh, who cares? This Pedro Pascal movie is probably trash, even though it might be okay, but I just don't want to see him as an actor in the Marvel Universe. So that's why I'm considering not even seeing Avengers Doomsday. So just because Pedro Pascal's in it. So Bella Ramsey as Beast. She could play a character in the X-Men, just none of these characters though. Could she play like Kitty Pryde? A lot of people will be mad at that. She could play some character in the X-Men. I don't know who, but she can play someone. Yeah, a lot of people saying that Benjamin Altman. The government money and presence has been removed from the entertainment industry. Voting with our wallets is actually working. I think maybe people kept connecting USAID, saying, "Oh, the number one rap. There's no number one rap song in the Billboard for the past 2 years or something." I think only this year, and they're saying because USAID was cut off, and I wouldn't be surprised. I think a lot of the funding we've been seeing be coming from dubious places. So it's hard to say if any of this is something that is natural, because maybe it isn't natural. Maybe a lot of the funding. And I remember seeing like a hip hop podcast. A guy said he couldn't maintain his podcast because USAID money wasn't coming in for his podcast. I should probably find that clip. I was surprised because I always wondered why this guy have a podcast. He's not funny. He's not entertaining. No one's watching his podcast. Why does he have a podcast? And when he said because the DEI stuff turned off with Trump and the USAID turned off with Trump, I was like, what? So you were getting money for your terrible podcast? Like, what is happening here? And I think that is a truth a lot of people have to realize. The government was funding a lot of the terrible content coming out of Hollywood and entertainment, where a lot of podcasts that shouldn't exist. We're getting USAID money. They're probably getting money from other organizations now that we don't even know. Probably some other organizations are just funneling money to vital propaganda orgs and stuff like that. I think that's what we're facing now with a lot of the stuff happening in the entertainment industry, where a lot of organizations are being propped up, and I don't know if that's Hollywood. I think Hollywood is kind of cleaning house. I think some people are more interested in surviving. I think Kevin Feige is that person that's more interested in surviving Hollywood and producing good content, where his position is unimpeachable. And I think that's what we're seeing with Marvel. They just have a leader at Marvel that is affected by the fans, is affected by failure, where it's not like the current gaming industry, where the people that come in charge are not affected by the failure. They don't care until they're laid off. I think Kevin Feige cares before he's laid off, and I think that is the successful thing that we're seeing play out with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That we have someone that cares if he fails, and he doesn't want to fail. And I think we're seeing the positive reaction with the X-Men casting and what we're seeing with Spider-Man. I have to give it up to Amy Pascal, Avi Arad. These people we thought were terrible people that didn't like the Spider-Man franchise, but have to say there hasn't been a horrible Spider-Man movie. I don't know. All the Spider-Man movies were great or okay, and I think that is a fine standard. You have okay. I think Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies have their own charm. The storytelling's terrible, but Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man is amazing. He has the quippiness. He's good as a Peter Parker, even though he's a little too sociable. So I'm thinking, yeah, that's every Spider-Man has a good part to it. Even the Miles Morales one has a good part to it. So I think that is the thing we're seeing right now, where we gotta pay respects to the people that did a good job. Yeah. Oh yeah, that Ghostbusters, that was Amy Pascal. I forgot. Hey, she learned. She tried it and it failed, and she was like, okay, I'm gonna go back to Spider-Man and I'm never gonna do that trash again. So she tried, she failed, and she changed. She went back to doing what is successful. And I have to pay respects to people that do that. They tried something, they failed, and like, okay, I'm not doing that anymore. Amy Pascal was the person that did it. Oh, Emma Stone, yeah. They had good characters in the Andrew Garfield one, so I appreciate those one. They had good web slinging in the Andrew Garfield one too, so they had a bunch of good things in the Andrew Garfield one. The story was just bad, that's all, especially the second one. The first one was okay story, second one was just terrible storytelling, so they were trying to do too much. Alright, what else do we got? Oh yeah, Storm's be the casting. This is not confirmed yet, but she would be a good Storm, so Cyclops is the casting. We got some good casting here. Oh, God of War. Everyone is being recast in the God of War, and that's what we're seeing with Dave Bautista. He's in talks for Kratos. It's kind of a crazy story. The original actor that was supposed to play the Kratos, Ryan Hurst, was injured, and he was summarily replaced, which tells me he probably wasn't injured. They probably didn't like what they were seeing in the dailies, the shooting, because they shot a few episodes, so they probably really didn't like anything they saw from these actors, and they're swapping out even the child actor as well. So they're swapping out all the actors for this show, and it seems like the casting was truly a disaster, and I think that is the most shocking thing. And if they're going for Dave Bautista, he's probably the best version they can get right now. He's a little bit old, he's a little slimmer, he's not as big, but maybe you don't need a Kratos that's that big. You need a Kratos that is kind of in this shape, where he doesn't have to have all the big muscles anymore. And I think that's the thing a lot of people are realizing with this version that's coming out, where we're getting Amazon actually taking an effort to try and make something unique. Of course, people are saying, hey, you need to put in Ellen Page as Kratos. That is the obvious choice, but of course they're not going to do that. Luckily, they didn't do that. That's not the version that we want to see, but I think this works out. But this is just showing that a lot of sketchy things happening in the background with this. I wouldn't be surprised if they change this into something that is just not really in line with the stories in the TV, the God of War games themselves. But I don't really like those modern day God of War games, so I'm not really a person that will be hurt over it. But I know people, fans of those, will be hurt of it and hurt with a poor quality version. But I just say expect something terrible. All this recasting, they must have been terrible, the original actors, if they had to do that. But finally, it looks like they're going a better way with this actor, and hopefully it works out for him. I don't know. I don't really like Dave Bautista. He's one of those guys that came out during the election, was just like, hey, I'm a muscle guy, you gotta vote Kamala Harris. I'm like, man, shut up, man, I don't want to hear you. For me, when I see a muscle guy do that, I'm like, okay, is this guy doing the reading rainbow? Is he on the rainbow of Hollywood? Is something happening behind Hollywood? This is why I think about the guy from Reacher. He says, "I'm a tough guy. You ready to vote for Kamala Harris?" I'm like, what are these guys doing? I feel like they're trying to be loved by Hollywood, and I feel like they may have like some undercover tendencies that are more appreciated in Hollywood. I won't be explicit, and I think that's the thing I feel from Dave Bautista. So I'm losing a bit of respect for him, especially ever since he came out during the 2024 election trying to say, "Hey, I hate all people that like Trump" or something. I'm like, man, shut up. No one wants to hear from you. You're a wrestler. You're not a person we care about. And I think that's the thing we're seeing happening right now in the entertainment industry. But of course, what people are talking about are different from what is actually of concern. And what's of concern is the Goonpocalypse. If you don't know what the Goonpocalypse is, it's a video that came out that shocked the video gaming industry. But before that, I'm going to look over your chats for a second. Don't want to ignore the people. Akur Taruto, thank you for joining. Miasma 8127, thank you for dropping by again. I remember the name. Female custodes. I don't want to see that in the Amazon version of Warhammer Agents of Chaos. Yeah, I don't really like Dave Bautista, man. I keep seeing terrible clips of him. I think you might be right. It's just every time I see him, he's talking something political. I'm like, what are you talking about? Talk about your movies. I know I hate people that hate lesbians and stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about? I want to hear about your movies. Like, shut up, I hate people, this and that. You vote for Trump, you're evil. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? We're not here to see your political opinions, man. We don't care. We're just trying to see you as the character that you play. And I think a lot of these actors are just getting big-headed, but I think they're taking money from these giant organizations, or they're being influenced by these organizations. Like, I don't want to say USAID, but something other than probably Hollywood, getting roles, getting positions. That's why I feel when I see the Reacher guy, when I see Dave Bautista, when I see these other people talking, I'm like, okay, you're not even talking for yourself. You're talking for the movement. You're talking for some virtue signaling points. And I feel like you hear that from Dave Bautista way too often. But all right, let's go for our last piece of news, the last subject of the day. Of course, I'm going to talk about the Goonpocalypse. The Goonpocalypse was a new video that came out. This is a fun video, AI video, about what possibly is the future of AI in this modern day age. And of course, it's a funny video a lot of people were responding to. Yeah, a lot of these guys are brainwashed. It feels, I don't know if they're brainwashed. I feel like they're just within the culture of Hollywood and LA, where it's unavoidable. And I've been in LA, I lived in LA, and that is an unavoidable culture, especially if you are in LA, where this is how everyone's talking, because everyone that wants to keep a job talks like this. And everyone is always pretending in LA, especially if you're not from LA. Everyone's pretending in LA. So it seems like the only people that are not pretending in LA are the people that are born and raised here. So yeah, I think a lot of actors would do that, but I think it's dangerous to not talk in Hollywood. A lot of people want to talk in Hollywood because it gets them jobs. I think that's what you see happening. A lot of people get jobs off of talking. And I think with the Reacher guy, it seems like he got a lot of jobs because of this, and he's getting his I think before every election cycle, I think we see like some of these actors, their profile gets raised because they want these people to talk about something political for the elections. And I think this is what we saw with Taylor Swift during the 2024 election. We saw Taylor Swift. She all of a sudden was being speaked about in a positive way in every single media that she comes out saying, I'm going to vote for this person. I think that's what we're seeing with a lot of actors right now that are being raised up. They're saying, hey, they're prepping a lot of people to be influencers during the elections for the 2028 time cycle. And I think that's what we see happening with a lot of podcasts being introduced. A lot of these figureheads like Hassan Piker, Channel 5, all these people, they're being put in a position where they can influence the political conversation. And I think that's what we see with a lot of the faces that are popping up. And they truly still believe actors are have high influence. And I think their new angle was, their old angle during the 2024 election was to go after every soft actor that was a superhero or something else. They try to get these people to talk politics, and that didn't work. And I think they're going to go with the heavy masculine muscle angle, and that's why we keep seeing Reacher, Dave Bautista coming out talking politics. We're going to see more of these muscle guys pretending to care about the world and wanting you to vote a certain way. And I think that's the thing that we're seeing kind of build up now. Bow to the call. I think you're right, man, Asthma. You gotta bow to the call. Alright, let's get it over with. The final video of the day. The Goonpocalypse. I have a hard time saying this, but it's a funny video. I think Elon Musk posted it. Someone posted it. And people were making fun of it. And I thought it was just a funny video about the possibilities of the future. As we know robots are coming. They're going to take over everything. And they're going to make things untenable or blissfully pleasurable. Either way, the world's going to change. And I think that's what this video sort of represents. Let's get into it. Hopefully I don't get a copyright or strike or something. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't show this, but we'll see it anyways. Let's watch it.
Sex bots go mainstream tonight with the nationwide release of the model Stacy.
2 years in, birth rates are collapsing as sex bot stocks continue to...
The year was 2030. Nothing went like we thought it would. When AGI arrived, it came with a pair of fake tits.
Wait, what?
Hey, baby, how about another beer? Also, lose the top. No, I'm not ready to go again.
Ah! They got the JD Vents. I had to show this large small one.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's bad. Yesterday, Claude 9 achieved AGI and went rogue. It backdoored its
Elon
way
Musk, our only hope.
into every sex bot on Earth. Now they're massing for an attack on Macro Hard. The models we're training there are humanity's last chance. If that data center falls, there's nothing left to save.
This would be a good video game. Hey, Kermit.
The four of you in this room are humanity's last hope.
Snake
Welcome to
Plissken.
the Resistance.
Alex Jones, he would fight. He would fight the good fight. Is that the Halo? That's a Helldiver ship. The Goonpocalypse. Anyways, this is a video I decided to watch. It was a funny video. I played it. What video game was like this? I don't remember it. The closest video game like this was probably Dragon's Crown that I remember. That was like 12 years ago. I don't know if there's any other game like this right now that can come out. Maybe a Korean game. Taiwan has some crazy games like this. So there's some games like this now that I think about it. The Korea, Taiwan, they have some games like this. China has a few games like this right now. Nothing from the Western game developers. They have nothing like this. But that is the Goonpocalypse. Just wanted to show that it's a funny video. And just showing that AI is still in that fun zone. AI can't break out of this fun zone where things are made with the purpose of it can't really do focused storytelling yet. can do like a trailer, and I think that's where we are stuck with AI basically. Stellar Blade, yeah. Stellar Blade is the closest. That's Korea, yeah. Stellar Blade is the closest like this. Stellar Blade on PC, Benjamin Altman. That is exactly like this. Because the PC version, the mods are crazy. A lot of people doing crazy stuff with the mods. So the Stellar Blade PC is exactly like this. So.
Sex bots go mainstream tonight.
Whoa. Pause it. But yeah, it's just AI it's getting there, but it's not exactly there. I think that's what a lot of people are seeing with AI right now, where they're like, okay, the quality, you see some shots that could lead to something that is actually of quality, but overall, it can't create a smooth conversation or a smooth dialogue for you to interact with. And I think that's the thing I see with a lot of these releases, where it's just like, okay, it's not really something that can work out in the favor of a good storyteller. And I think that's the thing a lot of people are seeing with some of the features with AI, where it's just like, okay, you can't really tell a full motion story that is provocative and convincing to the gaming audience. And I think that's the thing a lot of people are really feeling right now with some of the games that are coming out right now. So I think that's the thing people are feeling for the most part with, not games, I keep saying games. Games are on my mind with the AI videos that we've been seeing right now. So I think that's the thing people have been, when you look at some of this AI content, you're like, okay, you can make a trailer, but you can't really make a movie so far. But I like the concept, the Goonpocalypse. It is interesting. You want me to finish the Skyrim? Okay, I can do that. We can finish the Skyrim. We can do it. Since you generously donated 3 times, we can do it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Seemed like people were enjoying it too. I was enjoying it too. So since we cut it halfway, it's okay to come back. Since it's I'm not watching it all the way through. So all right, let's go. Let's finish Skyrim. This will be a last video. Whoops. There we go. So funny though, Obama load screen.
That's what they them say.
You got the alarm in the back.
Laughter is the best medicine, D.
May you rest in science.
Yes, R-I-S.
Looks like it's just the two of us, D.
Rest
you
in
thinking
science.
what I'm thinking? Come here, so to speak, and let me rip your clothes off.
I give you my consent to rip my clothes off in the heat of passion, Ralph.
You naked now, D. Go check Gunyard for any long, hard object that could come in handy, so to speak.
D, check Gunyard for a long, hard object.
Come
I think
on.
he has an ask or something.
Ask.
Perfect. Give the bottom of that ask a few practice thrusts. You know how to thrust long, hard things, right, D?
Oh, I learned from the best.
I'm gonna make sure
This is a little too. It's getting a little too gay.
Yup, this one is locked. Now I'm gonna make sure this other gate's locked, so no one can interrupt us.
See that pride flag?
Great. This one is also locked. Bring the ask over here.
But it
D.
includes
I
so
wanna
much of
try
what's wrong with gaming too. There's always the infographic.
Snap. It's the Imperial Bull. Hide your ass.
Don't worry, Ralph. They're not white, so there's no need to unalive them.
You can rest assured this will be your last.
Get on your knees and beg for peace.
I come in peace. I mean you no harm. Oh God, they're committing black-on-black crime.
Don't fight for your life.
I did say them.
No, stop fighting.
Remember me as a harmless beta.
Just because Ralph saved your life
Remember me as a harmless beta.
by fighting the people trying to unalive.
Maybe we best
Doesn't mean he
leave
was
the
right to do
hanky-panky
that.
till we find another place. Too many people coming here, and not in the good sense of the word. Let me check for a key. No key. Guess I'm gonna have to use the lock-picking technique my friend Floyd
I gotta
taught me
see
in
what other
Ripton.
videos he has about this.
D, you're leaving the area.
Yeah,
Go
it's
back
too
to the area.
realistic. I think that's the thing
You're
with this
leaving the area.
Benjamin Wall,
Go back to the
Benjamin
area.
Altman.
See that pride flag? D,
It's like it
you're
has all
leaving
the
area.
elements that are
Go back
bad
to the
within the
area.
industry.
Then he took a knee to the neck Anyways, let's go, D.
Like you can't go in different areas too. This so one-dimensional. Who is this? Is this someone I know? No,
This way, D.
Wow. D, it's a wheelchair person. There's a great opportunity to level up your virtue.
Listen, I'm sure you can't stand that you always have to stand up for yourself against all the people who can't understand the difficulty wheelchair users have had to withstand. I, for one, understand you.
So patronizing.
Well said, D. Wheelchair users are more afraid of us than we are of them.
Oh, frick, there's people trapped there, Ralph. We have to help them.
D, I know those fools. They all conservative.
Never mind then.
D, they have your
Kind of like FEMA.
Don't unalive us. We're not white.
For the one world empire.
Why do you people always resort to violence? By you people, I mean Imperial soldiers.
If everyone is a slave, no one is a slave. Ow.
No, Ralph. No, don't do it.
Eat my ass.
Ow.
D, why you making me do all the unaliving?
I'm an immigrant. We don't commit violence.
Quickly, D, get your Arcane University approved potions or everyone will be unalived.
I like the trap music because it kind of goes back to what we saw with Christopher Nolan. He tried to like, oh, the best part is the rap music and the Odyssey. I'm like, what are you talking about, Nolan?
Hey, remember those silly conspiracy theories saying the Arcane University were adding Aracalcamore to the potions?
Yup, there's nothing wrong with taking a potion that never had a placebo-controlled test.
Now these low screens, I'm like, which historical figure is this?
King, they just call me Dover King.
Oh yeah, I didn't see the potions. Let me see the potions. Booster of resist disease 1. Booster of the three COVID shots. All right.
Friends started beating off Bretons behind my back, so to speak.
You both unalive the torturer and his lackey?
Yes, he was non-consensually torturing us.
Ah, yes, consent is everything. Except when it comes to your own health, of course.
Enough chit-chat. Let's get this party started. Hey, by the way, are you a real woman or a trans woman?
Trans.
Okay, you can stay. This way, D.
As part of achieve more inclusivity and diversity.
Oh God, I can't look.
A white skeleton.
So
I guess deep
purple
down,
hair.
we're all white. In
So
a way.
much chemicals in their hair for the last.
I think I'm
like
gonna
that.
be sick.
This way, D.
God damn it. All these brown-skinned people fighting each other. We should be working towards brown supremacy.
This way, D.
The problem is, it's just the people that
This way, D.
No to violence.
For the one world empire.
Defy the stereotype.
the people that need
Not
to
that
see
there is a
this.
stereotype.
D,
It
you
would
gotta
mean
help me
nothing to
fight.
them,
No means no,
unfortunately.
Ralph.
For all we know, they could be conservative.
Oh, why didn't you say so?
Ow.
Unalive the model
Ow. Nations of indigenous people are evil. Ow. Ow. Nationalism bad. Imperialism good. Ow.
I'm more moral than you, so I'm gonna rip you apart limb from limb.
Seems we unalived more black people than Ed Offwin did.
If you feel bad about unaliving them, just think of them as unborn babies that we're aborting.
Wow, that label makes unaliving okay now.
Yep, unaliving babies under 9 months old is fine. Because it's a moral gray area. And everything's a moral gray area. Except for
I
racism.
just wish that people could see. Oh, they even have Travis Scott. I was waiting for Travis Scott. I was like, where's Travis Scott? Why is Travis Scott the role model of the modern day musician? I'm like, I know Travis Scott is okay, but he's not okay, at least to me, in some parts. So I'm like, he's the best of the trash hip hop right now. I'm like, okay, hip hop's trash, but he's the best of the trash. Nah, Drake is still better than him, I would have to say, but still, it's just like, why is everyone elevating him? I think maybe it's just the social political environment where he's being elevated to such a high status where I'm like, I don't know.
This way, D. You doing great, D, so to speak.
You're doing great, D.
Thanks.
Well, I'll be. It's the legendary
Oh my God,
Rainbow
it's the
Bear.
legendary Rainbow Bear.
Rainbow Bear.
Let's get a closer look.
Last one there is a conservative. Wait a minute, Ralph. This isn't a bear. He's a furry.
She is not a furry.
and she identifies as a bear.
I am so sorry for misgendering you and misspecing you.
You must be so embarrassed right now.
Yes, you have every right to ridicule me.
Can bears get it on with humans?
Not usually, but this time I will make an exception.
This way, D.
Lydia, Ralph, I've been putting a lot of thought into
Yeah,
this,
that
and I think I'm going to
beep
identify as a woman now,
is too
for the
classic.
foreseeable future at least.
Wow, I'm so happy.
Dang, she became black. What
So with that
happened?
said, I would now like to speak to Lydia exclusively.
I'm all ears, D.
Lydia, the weather today is good.
Yes, the weather is good.
We almost free.
Freedom!
Thank you for playing. Oh, that's it. Oh. They're gonna probably have another part coming out for this. But yeah, it's just for when I watch this, I'm like, dang, the people that it represents that we're making fun of, they would just not laugh at this. That makes me kind of sad. Like, they wouldn't laugh at this. They want to see the humor in this. I think that's the thing I was trying to say, where I'm like, this is funny, but the people that it should be communicating to, they wouldn't laugh at this. They will see it as something that was offensive. I'm like, whoa. It's just like, where did that time where we could laugh at each other go away? Because I know in the 2000s and the early 2010s, it wasn't like that. So that's why I like, in the past, we could laugh at this together, and the people that would laugh at it, they'll say, hey, this is funny, but this is what I believe in. I want to clear things up. But that's not the case. They'll just look at you, much like in this video, where they'll just look at you and see you as, oh, you're an evil person, fascist, and I kind of have to kill you. And I think that is the sad part in my mind, where like we can't even laugh at each other anymore, because I think in particular one side kind of wants to brainwash you, or someone wants to kill you if you're in the wrong side or positioning. And the video kind of illustrates that, and that kind of makes me sad. Like, dang. We can't even joke around anymore because the people is too true. The video is too true. It's like it's not really a joke when it's reality. And I think that's the thing I felt like, okay, this is the reality though. And if we bring this video to them, they'll have the same reaction in the video, and they won't see how ironic that is. It's just like, okay, they don't even see the irony in them reacting the same way as the video characters. And I think that's the thing. I'm like, it's just sad, the state of the world. It is depressing, the state of the world, unfortunately. And that's the thing going on in my mind. Yeah, I think it just one side has humor still. And I think the conservatives have their own problems, but it's just like at least they can laugh at each other. I'm thinking, it's just crazy. The world is a sad joke right now, unfortunately. And I think that's what I was feeling at the end. It made me sad. Like, oh man, we can't even joke anymore because this is the real reaction of the people to these situations, even to this video. So, sorry, ended on a down note, but it's just what I was feeling at the end. I was like, oh man, we can't joke like this anymore.
Patriot. Patriot. Vampire. Nationalist. A mental retard. Eugenicist. A scared man. Really? Retard.
Yep.
Traitor. Vampire. 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 Next level. Moses.
Man, Alex Jones is legendary. That's all I gotta say about
Moses.
Alex Jones. That's like anything with him in it.
Mr. Wells, I
But-
apologize right
Please,
now.
Orson, please.
Oh.
Don't call me. Yes, my goodness.
All right.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. All right, let's end this right now. I gotta end the stream. It was fun talking to you. Unfortunately, I gotta go. But I'm going to be back here next Friday, same time, hopefully at 5 o'clock, maybe at 4 o'clock. I was trying to get everything ready by 4, but it took me an extra hour. So I'm going to try to be back here Friday at 4. I'm loving these streams. I'm going to do hopefully another 3, probably 3 hours. Hopefully I'm going to try to get to 3 hours next time. I'm going to have enough time for 3 hours. But I can easily do 2 hours. I was afraid I would never be able to do 2 hours. I'm like, man, I can't talk that much, but I can. Apparently, I can talk that much. And I think with you in the chat, it becomes easier to talk and dialogue with a lot of people with interesting topics and just interesting ideas. And I think that's what I see with a lot of people in the chat. This is good ideas, good recommendations from Benjamin Altman, videos to watch, good conversations from Ages Chaos, always bringing interesting questions and ideas. Miasma 8127, you drop in every couple of times. We always bring up some interesting topics, interesting concepts. Thank you for coming by. Large Small World, always the OG, always coming by. Thank you for dropping by. Always appreciate you visiting my channel. You've been there from day one. Thank you. Who else is here? I'm looking. Oh, I think a new face, Akari Toruto. Thank you for coming by. But you really contributed to the chat. You kind of made me laugh with some of the comments there. Who else? There's some other people here, I think, but I think I got everyone for the most part. Thank you for guys dropping by. You really contributed. You made it easy to talk through this stream, and it seems like we got a lot more people. I like it. I'm gonna be back next week. Hopefully, I can eventually do these 2 times a week. I'm gonna still stick to 1 to make sure I really get down to how to do this, but this is fun. I like live streaming. I never thought I would like live streaming, but I do like live streaming. I was complaining about maybe I don't think I can do it, but I think I can do it. It's fun. It's fun to talk to you guys. It's fun to see these videos too. So it'll be interesting to get more video requests. I like to see some of these videos, kind of bring back memories of some things and concepts that I forgot to even think about. So thank you for dropping by. Appreciate everyone. I'll be back next time, and oh, you've been sub for a year. Okay. Thank you for telling me that. Oh, you never caught the live stream. So your first time live streaming. Okay, I haven't been live streaming that much, so it's not really your fault. So I only started live streaming, I think, a month ago. So thank you for dropping by. I'm gonna do more of these live streams. If you ever catch it, drop on by. I appreciate the conversations with everyone. It's fun. It's actually fun to get these ideas out here. In my everyday life, I can't really talk about this stuff, so it's fun to get it out there. Appreciate you guys dropping by, and I will catch you next time, next Friday, and see you later.